Here to react, Republican strategist and former advisor to the Ramaswamy campaign, Tricia McLaughlin, and National Review reporter Caroline Downey. Ladies, welcome. Caroline, to you first. What do you make of this, that the Harris campaign is like, we do speeches off prompters and tries to pretend like that's actually interviews with the media?
It's so different to give canned remarks to an audience that's already hospitable to you than to give extemporaneous answers to hostile questions from an adversarial press. That is the difference, and the American people deserve an interrogation of Kamala Harris's policies or lack thereof, since we really still don't know what they are. And that's the point. Her spokesperson is saying we're trying to run out the clock without saying that, with as minimal press exposure as possible. And so far it's working. I will say her campaign is stagnating a little bit, and I think they're going to start to worry as we get closer to November, because they know they can't put her in front of these unmediated cameras. So the best they can hope for is that Trump is a spectacle and a diversion enough to distract from her lack of policy explanations.
It seems like the media is being, I raised this at the beginning of the show, a little less friendly. Axios had this piece, and it raised not just the issue of her dodging solo interviews, dodging TV interviews, but also the Biden staffers and executives leaking for years about how she was just unaccomplished and kind of lousy at her job. And I just think that it's because that they don't want to be, well, Sean has his reasons, but that they are not getting the access that they want. And so they're kind of pushing back.
There's no question. She is the least accessible presidential candidate in modern American history. And that is saying something, given that Joe Biden ran from his basement in 2020. But I do think, of course, the press is going to get frustrated when she's not answering real questions. She's doing radio interviews, recorded radio interviews with people who have endorsed her. That's not exactly a tough interview. That all being said, if I'm her advisors, I'm saying, stay away from tough interviews. There's no upside to her. Especially, she's going to have to start answering questions about her flip-flops, fracking, about immigration, 10 to 15 million people illegally entering this country. She doesn't have a good answer. She just has a word.
Right, what's she going to say? I flip-flop because I want to win I want to be president.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Well, I don't do the interview because you can't do the interview. Just quickly, I want to get to this because while they're trying to pitch themselves as the unity ticket, Tampon Tim openly mocked Trump supporters for wearing MAGA hats.
We're down there on a bus. We're getting off the bus. It's just her and her husband, Doug, my wife, Gwen, and I. We're getting off the bus. And there's a bunch of our supporters standing there on the side of the street waving flags. And there was folks that were not our supporters. You can always tell them because they all have the same hats on, so you could see who they were. A group of independent thinkers ready to go.
Wonder what he's got to say about the independent thinkers who proudly sport those pink kitty cat hats, Caroline.
That's the epitome of hive mind. I remember during the Women's March when all of my very progressive feminist roommates and friends in college, like clockwork, went out with the hat on. Are you kidding me? That's groupthink, right? And at least MAGA, it did initially represent America first, secure borders, American economic prosperity. The hat of the feminists was supposed to be about women's empowerment, but they support men in women's locker rooms.
But now they have these Harris Waltz camo hats, which the left, of course, would say that they're, trying to take if we did that, I can't imagine the response.
They would lose their minds.
They would lose their minds.
Tricia, Caroline, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.